For more on how the United States is reacting now to the refugee crisis, I'm joined by immigration lawyer Rachel Wilson, who joins us from Tucson, Arizona. Rachel, what do you tell Republicans like Paul Ryan, who said we can't let terrorists take advantage of our compassion?
Well, I think that's a good point. We shouldn't let terrorists take advantage of our compassion, but I don't think that has anything to do with the U.S. refugee program. Refugees are identified abroad outside the United States by the United Nations. They undergo a series of security checks by the UN, and then they undergo more security checks again through the U.S. systems, which include classified means of checking these people for security. So we don't even know all of the security checks that they go through. The security check process takes between 18 to 24 months. So this is not some willy-nilly, oh, these are people who need a home, let's just put them on a plane to the U.S. This is an extremely thorough process. In fact, refugees undergo more background checks than any other segment of the population having to do with immigration. More so than European nationals who don't have to undergo any security checks to arrive in the United States, because we don't even require them to have visas.
But the extensive and careful screening process you're talking about does not appear to be enough for some members of the Republican Party and the governors.
That's true. They don't seem to think it's enough. I'm not exactly sure what they would think is enough. No one's laid out something more that can be done. I would challenge them to say, well, in that case, what is it? Is it just that you don't want to accept refugees, period? Is that what you're saying? In which case, we need to look at why. Why now do we not want to accept any refugees? We've been accepting Iraqi refugees for years, and these are people who helped the United States while we had troops present in Iraq. No one at the time called for an end to the Iraqi refugee program. So why now with Syria?
And that was my next question to you. Why now with Syria? Do you think, obviously, the terror attacks that we saw in Beirut, in Paris, is there a sense that Muslim terrorists could be lurking among the refugees trying to make that dangerous journey from their homes to Europe or the United States, for that matter?
There's always that fear, but I think one thing that can calm people's fears is knowledge of the process. As you mentioned earlier in your report, the United States has a history of 4 decades of successful refugee resettlement. Not a single refugee in the U.S. has ever been convicted of anything regarding terrorism, ever, in the entire 4 decades that we've been resettling refugees. It is not responsible of us to leave the humanitarian crisis on the backs of our other partners abroad, for example, Turkey, Lebanon, and Jordan. Right now, Turkey's taken in over 2 million Syrians, and it's just not fair for us to put the entire burden on them.
Rachel Wilson, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.